Podcast City Network.
Keep up with the latest shows and content from Podcast City Network over on podcastcity.net. Follow them on facebook.com/Podcast City Network, Twitter @PodcastCityNet. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Podcast City Network. On Twitch, Podcast City Network. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself.
Whether it's a sticker for your car, a t-shirt for that special someone, or a neck garter to keep safe during COVID-19, Podcast City Network has you covered. Grab the latest PCN gear today at podcastcity.net/shop to show your support for your favorite show or shows from Podcast City Network today. Want to start a podcast? Trying to grow your current show? Podcast City Network is here to help. We currently offer services for social media advertising, marketing, live stream hosting, custom logo design and branding, transcript services, custom intro and outro videos, audio-video editing, press kits, one-on-one consultants, and much more. So don't wait. Contact us today. podcastcity.net/services. Head over to the website, fill out the form, get in contact with Podcast City Network. Have you ever wanted to start a podcast but didn't know how? Do you already have a podcast but you don't know how to grow it? Are you trying to find ways to make your podcast profitable? You can learn how to do it here at Podcast City Network. We offer consultant services, tutorial classes to help with learning to better expand your knowledge to grow your show. We also give access to our network of shows to help with cross-promotions, guests, and overall reach while becoming a part of our ever-expanding PCN community based on people helping people. The best part is no membership fee. So what are you waiting for? Fill out the contact form below right here over on podcastcity.net/join now and sign up today. Podcast City Network, your top source for independent podcasting. Be creative, be yourself.
The Everett Lee Show.
Welcome everyone to the Everett Lee Show. I'm the Everett Lee. Want to give a shout out to everyone that follows me on social media over on Facebook, Everett Lee Show, Twitter, Everett Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee, and of course, Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show. Right now, I have on standby a great, talented guest. He is in the Netflix hit show Squid Game. I want to welcome to the podcast and the program, Geoffrey Giuliano. How you doing, Geoffrey?
Very well indeed, sir. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Awesome. I am so glad to have you come on the podcast here and talk with me about a lot of different things that we're going to get into discussion with, talking about a lot of stuff. And of course, Squid Game, we can't forget that.
No, it's unforgettable for sure.
Yes.
When I die, prior to this, it could have said any number of things, but now it'll say Squid Game actor succumbs after long illness, for sure.
Nice. I was looking up your biography. I was looking up some information online on you, man. You've had a hell of a career in the entertainment business, man. And that all started out when you were 12 years old. Can you tell me about that, when you started out at 12 years old?
I was a class clown, and the other students weren't able to concentrate due to my constant jokes. When the teacher used to turn his back, I'd go, quack! No, who said that? Who's that? And I'd sit there like a little angel, like, I don't know. Who said that? He'd turn around, quack! And again, so who said that? So I was, I spent a lot of time in the hallway or the cloakroom. No one had a cloak, but they called this thing the cloakroom, where you hang your coat up. I'd have to sit in there alone. I'd sit out in the chair in front of the classroom. The teachers would go by and say, "Geoffrey, are you out here again?" So I was I was a class clown, no question about it. I was disruptive of the other students. So one day, I was called over the intercom in class to Geoffrey Giuliano, please come to the office. And I went down there, and there was my mother and the spinster, 60-something virgin Hortense Mintz, the principal, and two men in black who were just kind of sitting there. It was like a Wes Anderson movie with no expression, staring straight ahead. And Miss Mintz said, Geoffrey, you're causing some concern with the other teachers in your classes because you're not allowing the other students to concentrate with your constant jokes, characterizations, and funny voices. Yes, ma'am, because we all had to say yes, ma'am. And back in Tampa in those days, yes, ma'am. And she said, so what have you got to say for yourself? Well, I don't know, the great inarticulate sort of 13-year-old, 12-year-old kid. And she said, well, I did think, however, oh my God, I am in so much trouble. These guys are probably juvenile officers and they're going to take me away. My mother was there. She had a kind of a mean look in her face. And I thought, well, that's it, man. I'm busted. I don't know exactly what I did, but I'm in deep doo-doo. Well, there was a pause and she said, Geoffrey, you're quite the showman, aren't you? Always fooling around. Oh, well, yes, ma'am. Would you like to be an actor? Yes, ma'am. so the guys looked at each other and everybody looked at and she said, well, these men are from the university. I was 12. These men are from the University of Tampa. You know Joe Weintraub, don't you? Yes, ma'am. And Joe was a real smart dude that was also in 6th grade, but he was so smart that a van came on Tuesdays and Thursdays and took him to the University of Tampa so he could study in college at 12. Well, maybe you'd like to go to the University of Tampa too, Geoffrey, and with Joe, and he can study his math and you can study theater and acting in the theater department. How would you like that, Geoffrey? Yes, ma'am. So, that's what happened. And at 12 years old, I was in university. So obviously there was some kind of God-given fairy dust that landed on me as I was going through the conveyor belt of souls somewhere in heaven or wherever, because there's no reason that I should be able to do any of this, Right. But yet I can. I've also written 32 books. I never had a writing lesson. Now those books grossed me between 1984 and 2006, $9 million. Now, I don't have it anymore. And I didn't know this till years later when my agent told me the story. When I said, how much did we make in those books? He said, well, around about $9 million. Holy shit. So all these things, I think they're probably from a previous life because there's no good reason that I should be able to be an actor. There's no good reason that I should be able to write these books and be so incredibly successful in both fields of endeavor. But I got to tell you that being a kid from a poor family in Orchard Beach, New York, near Buffalo and Niagara Falls, to ending up in Squid Game is a long road with a lot of heartbreak, tons of disappointment, betrayal, violence, you name it. I mean, it's even if you have the talent, that's only the first tire on the car, and you need 4 to make it go anywhere. So to assemble all of this circumstance, to put 4 tires on the car of fate, to drive you up to the goddamn Netflix parking lot to be in Squid Game is an impossible journey that I have taken. And I don't know why or how, but here I am.
It's an amazing road. From what I'm reading right here, what I have up on my screen here of what you've went through and what you've accomplished. I'm looking right here. You did get your acting directing degree in 1976, and your master's, and you've literally done hundreds of voiceovers and narratives for both syndicated radio and international audiobook industry.
750 audiobooks I narrated, and I was narrating when you got here. I got a studio in that room there.
Oh, nice.
So I'm a big narrator. In fact, after I did whatever movie it was about 3 years ago, I was sitting at home and my wife said, you are so annoying when can you go and make a movie and get out of here? You're under my feet. Well, look, I would, but I don't have a movie. Well, you got to do something. You're annoying me. You're annoying everybody. It's just so difficult to have you home, Geoffrey. We love you, but get out. So I thought, well, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I thought, well, what? I was right on that sofa over there, and I thought, what can I do? Wait a minute, I've been doing voiceovers for years for everybody. I know, I'll start my own audiobook company. Well, we started it in 2017, and now we're the biggest independent audiobook, that kind of thing, this kind of golden touch that I have. But it's a golden touch that comes with a lot of hard work because, you just can't start an audiobook media company on your sofa. But I did, and I stuck at it. That's the thing. I'm 68, man, and I'm too stubborn to give up. I just can't do it. So, it's, again, a successful audiobook company called Icon Audio Arts. But I want to tell you a little story about what happened about 2 weeks before Squid Game came out.
Okay.
And there's a bedroom here, and my 14-year-old half-Thai son was in there asleep. And after I shut down the office here, I went to check on him, and his foot was hanging over the bed. So I picked his foot up, put it under the covers, covered it over. There was a moonbeam coming in through the window, and it sort of lit up my face and the wall. And I just kind of looked at it, and I said to myself out loud, well, Jeff, hey, man, you're 68. You've done everything that you were supposed to do. You got your master's degree. You did summer stock. You worked for free at TV stations in Toronto for 5 years. You did Shakespeare in the Park. You did crappy plays. You did children's theater. You did TV commercials. You worked your way up through that with small parts in movies and medium parts in movies and big parts in movies. And you've done 28 movies, some of the biggest movies like Scorpion King. And you've done 3 Hard Target. You've done all these. But you know what, man? You didn't make it. It didn't happen for you. It didn't happen for you, buddy. 2 weeks later, it happened. I became a worldwide, internationally known, famous guy for acting. And, it was I always knew from the time I was a little tiny, tiny kid, dude, you're an actor and you're going to be a famous actor. And, I got close. 3 times I starred in a movie, and 3 times for legal reasons that had nothing to do with me, with writers and union, whatever it was, they were not released. So, it's like, how heartbreaking that is? God, I did it. I moved the needle. I'm starring in a movie, and we went to Cambodia in the jungle and we filmed it, and it was fantastic. There's still clips on my YouTube channel. But I'm sorry, Geoffrey, we can't release it due to in France, the copyright holder of the book, blah, 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 blah. So it's just a heartbreaking situation. And then Squid Game, and it all changed. I made 28 movies. Nobody noticed. I made 1 Squid Game movie, 12 minutes on screen. 25% of the planet has seen me and my ass, and I'm a household name. So you go figure that.
You remind me of Liam Neeson. The guy's done movies and movies and movies, and then when he did Taken, and then that got people noticed, and all of a sudden his career just went, at the age that he was at there, and it's something, man, because it's like Lemmy from Motorhead. I remember reading an interview with Lemmy, and he said he
was a friend of mine.
I love Lemmy, man. Motorhead was one of my favorite bands, still is my favorite band. And I loved how he summed it up and said, hey, I love having this success at this time in my life. And he wouldn't change a thing. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
No, I don't. No. I would rather have been Al Pacino when I was 30 and had all that money and girls and stuff. And now I have access to all that, but certain parts of my body aren't interested the way they once were. The hormones have stopped moaning. So I would have much rather had this happen years ago. However, I have a fantasy, and for years, for decades, I've practiced my Academy Award speech. But now, at 68, my fantasy is that I'll be awarded Best Newcomer. I've been in this business for 50 years, but nobody noticed me until this goddamn Squid Game. And there's like, you got to understand, I've seen the contract. I signed a contract with Netflix, and on that it delineated that there were 14 stars of Squid Game. The Koreans are 1 through 13, and me at 14. So I am, according to contract, the star among with 13 of my actor colleagues of Squid Game. So look, I didn't know this was going to be anything other than a gig. So here's the way it works. The public has no interest or didn't know me at all. And I would do a movie, but my family liked it, and Hollywood knew who I was. So when they wanted a guy for Scorpion King or Vikingdom or Mechanic Resurrection with Tommy Lee Jones, I would get a call, and I would do. They knew that I was a competent, professionally trained character actor. So, most people just play themselves now, but I can play anything. I played women, lots of mafia guys, the royal family, and Scorpion King is sort of yes, my lord, we were going to kill you, whatever it is, all these kind of different characters. I mean, that's an unusual thing to be a character actor. That's an old-fashioned thing that they don't really train you for in drama school. You just play yourself. Brad Pitt plays himself, Jennifer Aniston plays herself. They don't play crazy characters, but I do. So I get work. So I was well known in Hollywood and accepted, but no one. I used to go through reviews of movies like Scorpion King 3 and go, come on, where's and once I think it said, also in the cast is Geoffrey Giuliano, but I never had any acclaim. So I did this gig. Now, there were some red flags that this was an unusual job. One, I got paid about 10 times as much money as I normally do. So I thought, oh, this is great. I'm getting good money for this one. Wow. And then when I got to Seoul, Korea from Bangkok, they put me in this beautiful suite of apartments. And I thought, holy shit, there's a budget on this thing. This is crazy. Nice. There were gift baskets and fruit baskets and wine and things from the producer and the director. What the hell is this? So, okay, thank you. And then when I got to the set, it was like the Astrodome in Houston. It was vast, huge set that cost millions and millions of dollars. No question about it. So those were red flags, but I still thought, okay, it's a good part, good money, but it's just another gig, and you're just going to go, and I'm sure it'll get you another movie. This won't be your last time in a movie set, but it ain't going to move the needle. Well, it did move the needle. It shook the whole world. And that nobody, not the director, not Netflix, nobody saw this coming. And last amongst them, me.
I browse Netflix late at night. I think I spend more time browsing and watching the trailers of movies than actually watching movies sometimes, because there's so much content on Netflix. And I remember watching the trailer for Squid Game. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then all of a sudden, from word of mouth, friends, did you see Squid Game? Yeah, I seen it on Netflix, but I haven't watched it. Oh, you need to watch it. You need to watch it. So I sat down and I watched it. I watched all 9 episodes, and at times I found it really disturbing. It did, especially the first episode, red light, green light. Oh man, it was like soon as people started getting killed and shot when they were running around trying to get away while they were moving, I was like, this shit is real. I was like, where is this going to go now? What?
It was real when I took off all my clothes. That was real as it comes, baby. And, usually on those sets, they have these kind of guys who look like you with walkie-talkies and clipboards and stuff. But on this day, I don't know why, because God was trying to punish me. There were like 23, 24-year-old, very attractive Western women there doing all the crew stuff. And so they said, all right, Mr. Giuliano, time to take off your clothes. 68-year-old man taking off your clothes in front of about 30 or 40, 20-something girls is unfucking comfortable. So I had to do it. I said, okay, I took off my clothes, and there I'm standing. Everybody's kind of looking at the floor. They don't want to look. I'm looking at the floor. And then I said, can someone get me a blanket? And 40 people ran to, yeah, that's a great idea. Cover this shit up. So they got me the blanket, and I did the scene. I felt so sorry for that guy. I knew I was going to be doing that scene, so I took I spent about 3 hours in the shower that morning. I put the soap on and I left it because, I knew he was going to be right up in the zone, and I didn't want to smell. But those fucking lights are hot. And everybody was like nervous. There was literally about 300 people, cameras, cables, ladders, tracks, everything. People on ladders with microphone. There's no way that any human being could not have had some kind of an odor. And I'll tell you what, that was not an illusion or a camera angle. He was right there in the position ready to get to satisfy me in 5 minutes. So, I feel sorry for that guy, and I heard he got $2 million for it, and I think at least half of that was for having to sit in front of my dick for about 3 hours, because those scenes might last 2 or 3 minutes, but they take hours to film, because they got to move. Okay, let's do Geoffrey's close up, and then all right, let's turn it all around, and they got to move it around and change the lenses and fuck around with the lights to get his reaction to me from behind, So it's just an incredible process that people who watch movies don't know about and don't notice. But if you're there, it takes a fucking long time. And it was a tough day, but we got it. And once you're filming, it's not a problem. If you can satisfy me in 5 minutes, I'll change your life, or whatever the line is. And we just went through it. But it's getting there. It's all the stuff the crew has to do, and that's normally okay. But when you're naked, it becomes like, can we hurry this up, guys? This is vaguely uncomfortable. So that was something 25% of the planet has seen my ass. It's an amazing. If you go to Google Images and you put in Geoffrey Giuliano's ass, you can look for an hour. Crazy.
People spending an hour looking at your ass.
My kids say, like, oh, I don't want to go to school. Why not? Well, because everybody's talking about your ass, all the teachers like there's a sort of teacher, a single teacher that's sort of been flirting with me all these years, and goes, tell your father I said hello. I saw him in Squid Game. Now when people say they saw me in Squid Game, I say, I'd like to apologize. Oh, no, that's okay, because I know what they saw in Squid Game,
I love that episode because you were VIP number 4, and you're sitting there, and they didn't even say the name of that game. I call it bridge, because basically you're going across a bridge and not trying to fall through real glass. They're trying to land on the tempered glass. Everyone, all the VIPs was all involved in it. You're sitting there like, shit, man, give me a drink. Hey, you look good. Let's go have some fun.
Drink. But I had lost so many millions of dollars that day, and I wanted to have sex with this guy. That's what it was. And if he wasn't willing to have sex with me, I'll kill you myself before I leave. So, yeah, listen, you don't know how many 69 jokes I get all day long. And hey, Jeff, if you can't do 69, do 96. This is like, I know it's like that thing when I was a kid. There was an old woman. Where's the bee? Where's the bee? Hey. 69, you're the 69 guy. Hey, it's the 69 guy. So I know this is going to go on for whatever, it's eternal. And I go, yeah, I'm the 69 guy. Hey, if you can't do 69, what are you going to do? 96.
I love that, because there's that moment where there's nothing. It's just intensity, and then all of a sudden you speak up, and it's just like I just start dying laughing, because I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, God, this is disturbing, man. Falling through the glass. I'm like, oh shit, and all of a sudden there you are. You're like, he's staying with me. It's like, oh man, you got to think of all the different reactions in all the living rooms of the world. Some people say, turn that off. I don't want the kids to shield your eyes, children. And there's people that are going, yeah, man, look at that. In fact, I got a lot of things saying, hey, man, you are hot. And I said, dude, I'm 68. I'm a lot of things, but hot ain't one of them. I'm cold now. That hot shit is over, But I got a lot of invitations, people writing me things, and they'll say almost daily, like, well, he didn't satisfy you in 5 minutes, but hey, I could, And these are men and women. And I got one the other day. I'm 13.
And I could satisfy block.
Oh my
You know, it's like, man, my kid he said, block that immediately, and I block, you know. So there's a lot of, you know, it's very strange. It's a strange thing. And, you know, all this stuff, I have a master's degree in Shakespeare, you know, and I do all this Shakespeare and all this fancy art. And then I become famous for VIP4. It's crazy. But I'll take it. There's an old joke. How do you make an actor complain? Give him a job. So there's no way I'm complaining about being a world famous dude, you know, at 68. You know, it got here. It was a little late, but it got here, and I'm taking full advantage of it. I'll tell you what I'm doing is I'm doing a worldwide perpetual international tour of comic cons where I will meet all these people, and I have a stand-up comedy routine that I'll do based on Squid Game, and that's happening. And plus I'm doing many movies, obviously.
Nice. I did watch a podcast that you did recently, and you said you're the only American actor off of Squid Game that's actually going out and promoting it because the rest of the cast can't promote it, or what's the situation with that?
The situation is they don't speak fucking English. That's the situation. And I don't quite understand God bless them, and they're very talented. They're my colleagues. We're all brothers and sisters in the acting arts, but come on, man, they don't speak English, you know? So what are you going to do with them? I mean, what are you, 40, 45, 50-year-old from 50 to sort of like 21 with the girl or something? You're not going to learn English that quickly to make movies and to do this properly. So, you know, I haven't had the opportunities that they have, but I didn't have the part they have. However, I'm the only one in that movie with any part of consequence that is American, and I can speak English. So yeah, I would expect that I would be doing, you know, some pretty good movies fairly soon.
Everyone's seeing your ass, and then of course,
yeah, that's all it takes, baby.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man. And you also have another movie on Netflix.
3 movies on Netflix. I have Kate with Woody Harrelson. I have Peninsula Train to Busan, which is one of my favorite parts. I think I did very well in that. And Squid Game. So I have 3. In fact, I have the most popular television series ever on Netflix, and I'm in the #1 film, Kate, on Netflix, and then of course Train to Busan, Peninsula.
At the same time. Kate and Squid Game, man. How the hell does that feel, having a movie and a series?
Well, you know, I tell you what, it's some kind of payback from God for the years of rejection, for the years of people not giving a shit, for the years of like, you know, come on, I'm from Alka Beach, New York, and what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a movie star. You know, get the fuck out of here. You know, your father's a plumber, your mother's you're going to be, dude. In fact, when I was in junior high, the Coach Escobar said, hey, Shakespeare has just arrived. Well, how you doing, Shakespeare? Give me 10 push-ups and then 2 laps around the pool. There's Shakespeare. So he used to call me Shakespeare, and then in high school they used to call me Rock. You know, Rock Hudson, like Rock. You know, here comes Rock, the movie star. You know, so it's like I put up with a lot of shit, but I was fucking determined, which is really all it takes in life. Success is opportunity, is preparation meeting opportunity. So here's what I say to students: all kidding aside, being an actor is like being a fireman. Every day you go to the station, you clean your boots, you know, you check everything on the truck, you make sure the hoses are in good working order, and there's no fire. There's no fire the next day, and the next day, and maybe weeks go by. But one day, that fucking bell goes off, and there is a fire, and you got to be ready to deal with that eventuality. And that's what acting's like. It's like, you know, you do a part. We used to have a saying that did it move the needle, or is it going to move the needle? I think this one might move the needle, and it never does. So one of my friends called me and said, "Hey, Jeff, you moved the needle." And that's a really hard thing to do, because this is a brutal business. They don't care how you feel. They don't care if you can pay your bills. They don't care if you can take care of your kids, put your kid in school. They care nothing. It's like, it's just kind of like the luck of the draw. And, you know, I'm just too goddamn stubborn to quit. And I'll tell you another thing. What's his name? Escapes me. Who's the famous black actor, the old guy that plays God and everything? Well, Morgan Freeman. Yes. Morgan Freeman didn't get an acting job of any consequence till he was 50. And he said, it was like this, but once it tilted up, it never tilted down. And that seems to be what's happening to me. But I'm 68, 68. What are you going to do?
You worked, you grind at it, and you moved the needle. Like you said, you moved the needle finally. Finally.
Talent has almost nothing to do with this process of getting famous in movies. It's like luck. Talent is a tire on the car. Luck is a tire on the car. But there's a marketing tire. And I got to tell you, that last tire is so tough because once people see that Giuliano's good, it's not like, hey, it's not like I thought, hey, Giuliano's a really good actor. Let's make him a movie star. It's like, Giuliano's really good. He's a threat. He could take a job away from me. He could take a job away from you. Let's keep this guy down. So, I'm the same actor I've always been. It's just the world, because of Squid Game, people know about it. But I tell you, I once had an actor, I was coming out of an audition and he took a swing at me and I ducked. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? He said, man, you got the part and you're taking food out of my daughter's mouth. I said, dude, I am not doing it. Talk to the director. You auditioned, I auditioned, they gave it to me, all right? I said, if you got a problem, talk to them, not me. So it's like this, they take it very personally. And I'm telling you, it's harder if you're talented. It's harder if you know what you're doing on a movie set because the majority of people I met were there to keep me down, the gatekeepers of Hollywood to keep me out. It's a kind of a closed clique. And to get in there, you got to really do something extraordinary like being Squid Game.
I've heard of the process. I've heard because I've talked to over the years. I've talked to a lot of independent actors that's actually like had roles on TV shows or small parts in bigger movies, and they pretty much said the audition process. It's like they already have the guy they want, but they get all these other people in there and they go through the process and they already know the guy. It's like, I want this guy. And it's brutal. I've heard, man. They just
here's what I know about that process. It's like they do have to put up a front of looking at many people when they already know. That's correct. But I'll tell you this: when I can get my face in front of the director, I almost always get the part. When it goes through intermediaries, when it goes through filters, oftentimes I do not. So there's something about, and I'm actually very good at improvisation. So, and now you don't have to go anywhere and sit there and take a number and fill out an application. You just do it at home with a webcam. So that's much easier. In fact, my audition for Peninsula is on, and my successful audition for Peninsula and Squid Game are both on my YouTube channel, the Geoffrey Giuliano channel. So any actors out there that want to see what a successful casting is to get you a good part in a movie like Squid Game, it's right there on the internet, and you can look at that.
What would you say to someone doing an audition? What advice or what would you say to them?
It's not acting. This is not about acting. It's about being. If you can get to the level where you're being, where you're actually are that thing without being stupid and offensive and, like idiot method actors that, like Lady Gaga said, she was in that Gucci character for 6 months and people had to call her by that name, and that's all bullshit. But an actor has a bag of tricks that he's refined, and in my case refined over 50 years, that I can draw upon in order to do a casting, to do a role. So basically what you have to do, it's fucking bullshit, it's pretend, it's make-believe, but the good actor can hide the seams. It's all cut and paste, with all the tricks I have. But I've been doing it so long that I can kind of hide the seams so you don't see where it's sewn together. And then it has the illusion. Of course it's not real. Of course I'm not a billionaire in Squid Game, but you kind of, I also describe it as a state of self-hypnosis. Especially when I was younger, my eyes would kind of go out of focus and I would in some way approach being that person. It's almost like a possession, right. If you do it right. But, it's not like I go to the lunchroom and I go, hey, call me VIP 4. I don't do that shit. I just, when they say cut, I'm Geoffrey again. But it's, I guess, it's easy. I say to people, what is the fuss here? It's just acting. Someone said to Katharine Hepburn, is acting hard? And she said, well, Shirley Temple can do it. How hard can it be? So it is, I don't think it's that hard, but for people that can't do it, it's hard. For instance, if you go to someone at Cirque du Soleil and say, wow, man, that's amazing how you do that thing with it. Well, it's not that hard. You just practice. Well, yeah, because you can do it. So maybe acting is very hard, like the tightrope or at Cirque du Soleil. It could be. But to me, it seems very simple, and I really don't understand what all the fuss is about, but I'll take it.
Any director that you enjoyed working with, doing
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite directors?
There was a movie called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Yeah. And Joel Sassoon, not Sassoon, Joel something, so like Sassoon, something like that.
Yeah.
He was a good actor, and I made this movie for him called Buffalo Rider, where I played a kind of, I guess, pedophile dude that picks up a girl hitchhiking and he's going to, try to propositions her. Well, when we were making that movie, he said to me, wow, Sassoon. Yeah, Joel Sassoon. He said, God, you're good. You're so good, man. It's fantastic to work with you. He kept saying that shit. And there were other actors standing around there. And I said, Joel, can I have a word with you? We walked away. I said, dude, stop saying that shit. Oh, I know, Geoffrey. I said, it's embarrassing. He said, no, I know, but you're so good. It's so great to work with someone that's good. And I said, dude, please stop. These are other young actors here. It can make them feel uncomfortable. It can make them feel insecure. And, I'm good or not good. I don't know, but I don't need to hear it. I've heard it many times. And I said, but, look, as long as we're having this conversation, let me ask you a question. If I'm so goddamn good, why is it that I'm not some big movie star in all these big movies and I'm living in Bel Air and multi-millionaire? He said, oh, you don't know? I said, no, I don't know. He says, you don't know how to become a movie star? I don't know how to become. Obviously, I don't know how to become a movie star. I'm doing this low budget movie with you. He said, well, this is how you do it. You have a good part in a movie that's incredibly successful and you'll be a movie star. Well, that's just what I did. I did that with Squid Game. I didn't see it coming, but it happened. It's like a car accident, It's like, whoa, what happened, man? I don't know. I didn't see it coming. Shit, my neck hurts. Well, you've been in an accident. What am I doing? Where am I? You've been in an accident, sir. Don't panic. So what it is sort of it's like an acting 10-car pileup on the highway, and you're laying under a car, and you see the paramedics there is shining a light in your eyes going, well, what happened, man? You were in a movie, sir. You were in Squid Game. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. We're going to get you some help.
With Netflix, they pretty much said they already they said season 2 is going to be happening.
I can tell you some shit about season 2. That's your question.
Yeah, that's my question.
Here's what I know. The director likes me. Whatever. Back to the Cirque du Soleil example. Why he does, I don't know, but he likes me. So I've had some smoke signals from the production, and this is what I heard. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel. Sorry, it's not a prequel. It's a sequel. In other words, they're going to pick it up exactly where it left off. Now, that means that he can only use the people that are not dead. Number one, I'm not dead. As a matter of fact, there was a very peculiar thing in my final scene in the movie where I'm laying there naked on the floor, and the guy rushes in and he said, we got VIP 4. He's down. Is he dead? No, he's just unconscious. Why did they say that? It had no relation to the story, but they said it. Yeah. It's like they made it a point out of saying he's not dead. I mean, I could have just as well been dead. The cop killed other people, but, I wasn't. Is he dead? No, he's just unconscious. So that's one suspicious thing that makes me think they're going to bring me back. Number 2, if you notice, at least 1, maybe 2 times, the policeman dropped an iPhone or cell phone down from his sleeve and took video of me. What's that all about? It was never explained in the movie. Nothing happens in a movie like this that isn't completely planned out. because they have actual artwork called storyboards. He reaches his hand in front of his face, and you'll see that picture. And then they'll say, all right, Geoffrey, so look at the storyboard and then reach your hand. I'll bring it up a little bit, bring it down a little bit. Okay, bring it up. Okay, that's good. Don't move. So it's all done like that. You can't believe how controlled it is. And not all movies, but this movie was like that. It's like they'd show you comic books, and that was just like, so he leans into the camera and he looks around, and it was, so you just had to do what was in the picture and say the words. So you're telling me that they have a line and an action and spend 30 or 40 minutes having the guy run in the thing and say, VIP 4 is down. Is he dead? No, he's just unconscious. Why would they do that? That's not an accident. People don't just say shit in a movie. It's all fucking planned. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing, why did he take that video of me? For what end? It was never explained in the movie. So my supposition is that I will be in season 2. And further, I have heard from people, not officially by any means, I don't speak for Netflix or the director or anybody, but some people that are friends of mine in the crew and cast have said to me, they have heard that it's possible that I may be forced to play the game. I might be sort of captured by those guys, the players, and then, all right, you son of a bitch, you took great enjoyment in seeing our misery. Now you play the game, So this is the other thing that I've been, people are speculating about. Let's put it this way. I think there's a good 50-50 chance I'll be in season 2. And if so, I'm going to get the toughest son of a bitch lawyer in Hollywood to negotiate my contract so that I get that, the main stars got between $2 million and $1 million for the main actors. I'd like a piece of that money.
Your stock has skyrocketed.
Well, think about it. Yeah. That fucking thing made $900 million. $900 million bucks. Well, I was on screen for 12 minutes. If you ask anyone what they remember about Squid Game, I'll be one of the things they remember. Oh, the old guy with the satisfy me in 5 minutes. That guy showed his butt. People remember me. So I figure if that made $900 million and everybody remembers me and I'm on screen for 12 minutes, they owe me about $15 million. It's like, I maybe contributed my artistry, my talent, my presence in the movie, helped to contribute to the success of that movie. And therefore, Your Honor, they owe me $15 million. Well, I'm not going to get that, but maybe I'll get paid down the road. Look, they're fully aware that I played a part in the success. Now, I'll tell you another thing that I heard, another rumor is, we didn't know that this was going to be successful anywhere but Korea. And since it's a worldwide thing, next time, don't make it so Korean. Maybe we'll have the games in San Francisco, or maybe we'll have the games this year in London or whatever. And there's got to be more Western stuff in here, more English, because it's just too difficult to demand that the audience listen to a foreign language and read subtitles or look at sort of, frankly, not that well crafted overdubs in English. So, it's harder to watch a movie like that. It demands more. You can't really lose yourself. In a movie, they have something called the willing suspension of disbelief, where you kind of forget that you're watching a movie and you enter into the fantasy and the thing that's unfolding in front of you. You can't do that if you're having to read shit and listen to weird English and people who speak in Korean. So the other suggestion, by no means verified, is that it could be the game could take place. Because there's a line when I come down the stairs, which is, well, it's terrific that you're having them in Korea this year, which means that in other years they've been held other places. So maybe they're going to go to one of those places. And because of the great, incredible Western success, come on, they got to have more English in there. And if they're going to do that, they're going to come to me. So that's my expectation, that I'll be in season 2. Yes. But anything can happen.
Yeah. Anything can happen because there was, towards the end of it, because there was so much stuff that was unanswered. There was, especially the cop falling off the cliff, big twist there. No one, if anyone hasn't seen it yet.
Dead. He's not dead. They're not getting rid of that guy.
No.
He comes up swimming,
Exactly. Anyone, I want to warn everyone right now watching and listening to this, anyone who has not seen it, you're going to get spoiled. But, like, yeah, he fell off. He didn't die. And then the twist, I got to tell you, Geoffrey, the twist, man, when the host revealed himself and it was like it was his brother. And then when he was in there trying to find his brother, looking through and seeing, I couldn't believe it. It was like how many years this has been going on. I'm like, wow, this has been going on for a while now.
Right.
This has been going on.
I've heard the suggestion that the billionaires, the reason they're billionaires is they are previous winners of Squid Game. They played the game in the past and they got rich. Like I got rich when I was maybe 30. I played the game and I won somewhere. And so now I'm this dirtbag millionaire, which was, by the way, modeled on Donald Trump, the director told me.
Oh. All right. Let me ask you. Okay. All right. Your character. All right. VIP number 4. Now, if they did a prequel and they showed the VIPs playing, they're not doing a prequel, but go ahead. Well, I'm just throwing this out there. Just fabrication, just imagination. We're letting our imagination run wild here. What if? That's good. What if? Okay. Who would play VIP number 4, and younger version of you? Who would you? Wow,
yeah. that's a good one. I shit, man.
Who would play you?
I don't know. What do you think?
Oh man, there's so many.
All the actors that I know are like Edward Norton is the youngest actor I know, and he's probably 47 or something like that. I don't know who it would be, but actually, it's funny because I am now 68, and it's very hard to look good when you're 68. It's like when you're young, your body is on autopilot. Now you have to work at it. But I was a handsome guy when I was young. I remember I had a Thai girlfriend. And we were in a car, and I said, well, pretty handsome, aren't I? And she said, well, I think handsome is finished. I think you've kind of gone beyond handsome. I said, well, I certainly was handsome. Oh, sure, maybe you were, but you're not anymore. So, no, I've got the pictures in the scrapbook. I was a good-looking guy. I was a model and all that shit. But, time marches on. So, in fact, now, before I didn't do it with you because I completely forgot about this interview, but normally I put on, I got some makeup here. I got a little pancake. I put a little eyebrow pencil because your eyebrows disappear when you're old. I don't have any eyebrows anymore. They're gone. Anyway, we're wandering in the weeds, but yeah, it's, I don't know who would play me. I don't know.
I've seen some movies.
I don't want anybody to fucking play me, because then I won't get the money. What are you talking about?
Now, if they did flashbacks, let's say if they did flashbacks, that would work too. Hey, you in the present, work. And then flashback to your younger self.
Well, if they get my fat ass out on that bridge, playing the game, I won't even get to the first piece. I'll be gone. I'll be splat. I'll be a watermelon off a skyscraper. I'll be all over the sidewalk for sure.
Oh,
so I don't know how that would work out. But Seoul, Korea is kind of a strange place. It's like I'm a vegetarian, and they don't have vegetarians there too much, and so I didn't get anything to eat for like a month when I was there. It was a hard shoot, and I was isolated. I had to be away from Christmas, and that was one of the reasons I said, you got to give me good money. If you want me to be away from my 13-year-old son at Christmas, dude, you got to give me some money.
Right.
Because Christmas time is a very important thing for me and my son. I don't know how many more Christmases there'll be, I remember my mother saying to me once, I said, okay, at Christmas, I said, all right, look, I got to go. I got you. No, wait a minute, Geoffrey, sit down, sit at the table. It's Christmas. You don't know who's going to be around next year, Jeff. And
exactly.
My mother died, and that was her last Christmas, and I did stay. So yeah, life is precious. Life is short. Life is fleeting. And if you want my services, you got to pay me.
Life, I agree. I agree with you because life is short. Because I just lost my mother back in September. I just lost her, and she was 79. And this is going to be the first Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. That's when it all comes. Look, can you imagine me? I'm 68. I've lost 3 sisters and 1 brother. I've lost my parents. In fact, I said to my son, you don't realize when you're the youngest of 5 children, you think, wow, cool, I'm the youngest. But then I never thought ahead to think there'll be a time, Geoffrey, when everybody you grew up with is dead. And like you're the last man standing. And that's really, especially at the holiday. Yeah, I think about it all the time. It's like, Mom, Dad, Bob, Sharon, Sheila, where are you? Where is everybody that I knew? Where are you, Aunt Myra, Uncle Si? Where is everybody? And there's nobody. I'm like the last man in my family standing. So now I have to be always with younger people, and it's weird because I can't refer to things in the past with you because what's that? Who? Led Zeppelin? Who is that? John Lennon? What? And they don't know anything. So it's difficult to, you can't, there's a level that you can't interact with other people on because there's no one around of your generation.
Right. I was a kid in the 80s, teenager in the 90s, but I had older brothers that always listened to classic rock. They always listened to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Rolling Stones, and that stuff like stuck with me. I mean, at 5 years old, my first musical influences getting exposed to was my brother had the Beastie Boys, Licensed to Ill. Hearing that at 5 years old, seeing MTV for the first time, seeing Billy Idol, dancing with myself, I was like, that is cool. I want to spike my hair just like Billy Idol. And then seeing David Lee Roth and Van Halen jumping on stage, and I was like,
Hot for teacher.
Yes.
I was hot for many teachers in my life.
I have too, man. And I just, seeing that at 5 years old, it was like, wow, I just was exposed to that stuff, and it stuck with me because being fans of that type of music all the years of stuff, and just growing like musically, like getting into a lot of different music. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she discovered Queen, and my wife took her out the other day to the grocery store, and she's with my wife, and she's walking with my wife doing grocery shopping, and she's singing "We Will Rock You," and people walk by, they're like, all right.
Yeah,
I love it, man.
Music is a point that we can all share. It's a point of connection with human beings that we can, in this world, we don't know where we come from. We don't know where we go. We don't know what we're doing in the middle while we're here. But one of the things we can all connect and agree upon pretty much is music, and it's the soundtrack of our lives, and it's really super important. Now, these days, I just mostly listen to Indian music because I'm involved in Indian religion, as you can see by my statue there. Yeah, music is the thread of our lives that goes through our lives and puts us all together.
Yeah, it does, man. Because I tell you, when I lost my mother back a couple months ago, there was one band that just stuck out to me, and I listened to quite a bit at that time. It was Metallica. Metallica was just released the 30th anniversary of the Black Album, and I'm driving down the road. I have Sirius XM, and then I'm listening to the channel to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Metallica's Black Album, and it's just all Metallica, and just listening to it and stuff, and it helped. For some reason, it helped me. And then I'm driving down the road listening to Nothing Else Matters, and I'm bawling my eyes out, and it's like emotion. And then it's just like listening to it, it just got me through it. I mean, I've listened.
Well, if it's any consolation, I'd like to tell you that I'm 68. I've gone from 0 to 68. I've lived through half of the 50s, all of the 60s, all of the 70s, all of the 80s, all of the 90s, and 20 years into the next century, 2000. Now, a lot of fucking people died in that time, but I didn't die, and your mother didn't die. I'm 68, but she was 79, so she definitely, that's a good long run. You'll be lucky if you get to that. I'll be lucky if I get to that. And, God bless her. I don't think anybody dies anyway. I just think they change their body. But no, she had a good long run, and I'm sure she's fine, and I don't think she's dead.
Yeah, she's I know she's not on this plane of existence anymore, but I know
there's too much going on in our lives, in our ability to love and create art and show compassion, for this to be the only level, just the physical level. There's obviously many different levels of existence that intersect inside of a human being, and the material world is certainly just one of them, you know?
Right. It is. It's like what fascinated me about the Egyptian culture when they mummified them, and when they put them into the tomb in the place, they took all their stuff and put it in there with them, because it was like they're going to take this all with them. And I just found that like fascinating that they know that they were going to another existence, you know?
Yeah, they've recently found psychedelic mushrooms in one of those crypts as well, and some other plant-based botanical hallucinogens that were in there as well. So, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever done mushrooms or anything, but
yeah, I've done a little. I've done a little bit of we call it the.
There's no reason for you to confess here, my son. This could fuck up your career. So no, we've never done anything like that. I just read about it.
Yeah, I read about that stuff. The devil's grass, as they would call it. Oh man, I just There's that's crazy. King Tut sitting there, he's probably smoking a blunt there, looking over at the sunrise, over.
Or worse. No, they found cocaine too. They found cocaine because I remember they said, well, cocaine didn't grow around here, so where did they get it? They found cocaine, they found psilocybin mushrooms, and they found some other plants that are sort of now extinct, but they had psychedelic properties. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, it's a crazy world.
It is. So that kind of now puts a thought in my head there, Geoffrey. So I guess the pyramids were built on mushrooms, coke, and
possibly. No, there's a theory called the Stoned Ape Theory, that when man came out of the caves and they were foraging and collecting food, as they would do, that the cows, some sort of ancient cow, would shit. And everybody knows that mushrooms grow in cow shit when it rains. So they would see mushrooms and they would pick these mushrooms and think it was like anything else they ate, but suddenly they go back to the cave and they're tripping balls. So it's like, whoa. So that's called the Stoned Ape Theory of human evolution. In other words, why are we separate? We're an animal. Why are we separate from the other animals? Why did we evolve? Well, maybe it was all those mushrooms that we took and it became part of the DNA, this forward-thinking ability, this creativity, and all these things that may have come from psychedelic drugs. But we have wandered far into the weeds, my young brother, from fucking Squid Game. So either we get back to Squid Game or out of out, because I can see that we're both going to have warrants for our arrest by the end of this podcast. Somebody's listening to this shit and they're not happy. There's a cop somewhere that's taking notes.
They can take notes. We're in a secured location.
I will say this in defense of myself. Mm-hmm. You'll be lucky if you're this cool when you're 68, dude. I've always kept myself. See, I know my body is 68, but I in no way do I feel 68. Right now, I got one of my tooth chipped last night. I got a little pain here, my knees hurt, but beyond that shit, it's like I'm about your age, It's like it's just the body. It's like old clothes. It's like I'm forced to wear old clothes all the time. Right. I can't wear young and brand new clothes out of the box. I got to wear these old clothes day after day after day. But I don't think I'm old. Not long ago, I was somewhere in America and some kids went by and they said, hey, some smart ass kids, how you doing, old timer? And I looked around, who the fuck is this? Oh, me! What do you mean, old timer? I just couldn't believe they called me that because I don't identify, fortunately, with being old. I also didn't identify for many years with being fat, but apparently the mirror's been lying to me all these years. I'm indeed very fat. However, I will tell you that since that movie, I have lost all that weight. If you can't lose weight after being fat shamed by the entire planet, then you're never going to lose weight. So I just said to my wife, I said, all right, that's it. Fuck it. I'm not eating anymore. After that shit, everybody sees my big stomach hanging out over. No fucking way. So I have lost pretty much I'm about halfway there. And, if I'm in season 2 of Squid Game, I want to they say, take off your clothes. I go, hey, sure, no problem. Take a look at this. Oh, what's this? A 6-pack. Last time it was a keg. Now it's a 6-pack. So, yeah, I mean, it's not easy with a 68-year-old body. It takes a lot of work, but I'm getting there. I swim every day, and I only eat healthy food. I don't eat sugar or anything like that. Can't do it.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's you're taking care of yourself, man, and that's all there is to it, man. And when I saw your ass on Squid Game, I was like, oh shit, man. I was like, what the hell's happening? And then, I mean,
I'm the right actor for that job.
Yeah.
I'm off center, as you can see. I'm not your average normal dude. So it's like, I take off your clothes. Yeah, okay. What do you want? What do you want? Yeah, take off your clothes. Okay, on Netflix. Okay, no problem. So, it's just, I have that kind of mindset, and also I'm a professional actor.
Yes.
Somebody tells me to cut my hair, shave my head, show my ass, I'm willing to do that if it's for the production. We're actors. It's a communal art. It's something that I can't make a movie here in my house too much. I need many people, and it's all the artists come and work together, and I'm not going to fuck things up by refusing to show my ass. All right, if that's what I got to do to make the movie a better movie, and it did, I'm going to take off my clothes. So there you go.
Exactly.
But I mean, I never thought that at 68, I'm going to be doing sex scenes, I never thought that.
Right.
But, wow, so I've basically had most of the experiences you can have as an actor. I've been around the block many times.
Right. Now, talking about your parents and, shaving your head or, cutting your hair or whatever, you did a movie where you had an accident with your tooth. Yeah, tell me about that there. I thought that was fascinating.
Okay, yeah, this is good. So I was to do Peninsula Train to Busan, where I played this thug, and I'm proud of that performance. And I was out here taking a walk in the morning, and I just tripped on the cement and fell right and landed on my front tooth, and it broke half of my tooth off. And shit, I've got to go do this movie in Korea. What am I going to do, man? And then I looked in the mirror and I thought, oh man, this guy's supposed to be a mob boss. He's probably a junkie, and junkies lose their teeth, so I did, like a coke dealer. So I thought, yeah, this is perfect. So I called my agent and said, ask if I can do this with a broken front tooth. And they said, yeah, if you want to. Either way, it's up to you. So I got there, and so I had this big tooth, and I made sure, I smiled. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the way it is. Okay, cool. So I was smiling so everybody could see that fucking broken tooth, because I was real proud that, some actors, like, they gain 80 pounds, like Robert De Niro in Raging Bull, to play a part. I broke my fucking tooth and I didn't fix it. Now, I then had to go to India, and they said, oh, well, we can't just fix that one. It won't match. We got to take them both out. I said, there's nothing wrong with the other one. It's right. We got to do it. So these two are fake. And it's... I used it. Now, that's something they say. When I was in drama school, they'd say, if you're about to go on stage and you get a call that your family on the way to the grocery store, crossing the railroad track, were hit by a train and they're all dead, you don't go home. You use that energy, transmute it, change it, add it to your character, and do the goddamn show. So if you break your tooth a few days before you go to Korea to do a Netflix movie, you use it.
Nice. I love it. I'm gonna have to get on Netflix. I'm gonna have to check out the movies, man. I definitely am.
Can I plug? Before we go, can I plug the Geoffrey Giuliano channel?
Yes.
Can I plug the Squid Game fan page that was made for me called VIP for Squid Game Universe on Facebook? I'd like to plug my Instagram to get in touch with me there. It's Geoffrey Actor, GeoffreyActor, and on TikTok, it's Squid Game Confidential. And of course, my website is geoffreygiuliano.com, GeoffreyGiuliano.com. And there's a contact page there. I love doing interviews. I kind of get weird. I feel, there's no interview. I look at the schedule. There's no interview today. Shit. So anybody wants me to do an interview, if you're, accredited media, go to my contact page at geoffreygiuliano.com and hit me up, and I'll do it for you. I like doing it.
Nice. Thank you, Geoffrey. And one last thing I want to ask you is, you said that you're going to go to cons. What cons do you have planned for?
I believe San Diego. I have a manager called Van, and he's dealing with all that. But I think I have one in February in California, so a smaller one, and then I go on a circuit that includes Germany and Australia. So I'll be doing all the, I'll let you know, now that I know you and stuff, I'll let you know. And you need to also pass this on to your, whatever you think of this interview, if you liked it, pass it on to your other brothers and sisters at the podcast network that you're doing, because, hit me up, I'll do the show. But yeah, so it starts in America, and then I think it goes to Germany and Australia, and then it just keeps on going. I got a friend, a Chinese actress called Bai Ling, that was in The Scarecrow, and that was 30 years ago with Jason, who got shot there. And what was his father's name? The black belt karate guy that got killed? Jason Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he got killed on that. Bruce Lee. So she was in that show 30 years ago, and she's still doing Comic Cons. So basically, I'm 68, so whatever. I'll be doing Comic Cons forever. And here's the deal: none of the other actors from Squid Game are going to do anything like that ever. They're multimillionaires. They're surrounded by agents and managers and living in a bubble. They're Korean. They don't speak English. So if you want to see Squid Game, if you want to know about Squid Game, if you want to experience Squid Game, come to me and I'll help you out. And that's why doing the Comic Cons makes sense, to meet the fans.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
You're welcome.
Anytime, man.